So, welcome to Galactic 1776, the Guardian 1776 show. We have Deb Foley, who's the interim Secretary of State for California. We welcome her. She's going to give us a presentation on jural societies. Welcome, Deb.
Thank you, Susan. And I'll say I am the interim Secretary of State of the California Republic.
Okay.
Since we're going public with this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be on the Rumble channel. So I just want to make sure nobody gets confused about that. We are the California Republic, 1849, or California Republic for the people. And I'm going to go through all of that. And so do I have the ability to share my screen, Susan?
Yes, I'm going to give you that.
All right. In the meantime, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Okay. I'm a businesswoman. I was a senior merchandising manager. I'm going through this for a reason, guys. Okay. I was the senior merchandising manager, and I was buyer in retail for 16 years. And that means that I have inventory management issues. I spent a lot of money. I bought a lot of merchandise and I had to sell all of it. And so I know what merchandising is all about. After that, I was the retail marketing manager of a San Diego radio station, which is the 7th largest market in the nation at the time. And I market it. So I know the difference between merchandising and marketing. And so, that is an important issue when it comes to things like the Republic, because we really feel in California that this is God's plan. Tim Turner felt like he got a download from God about how to repopulate the Republic. And so that is what all of our states have been going about doing. And some of us have been doing that a little bit differently. And according to our founder, Tim Turner, we are allowed to do it the way we want to because we, the people, are the Republic. And so it's the opposite of what we've been used to with the de facto corporation, where it's top down. We, the people, are on the top. And so we, the people, are the Republic. So that to me is very exciting because I don't have to be exactly like Connecticut, and Connecticut doesn't have to be exactly like me. So Susan had asked for a bullet point of how we are feeling.
Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Did I get muted?
Yeah, by mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
You're back. Go ahead. Sorry.
Was I snapping my gum?
No, I was
take my gum out.
Okay.
Anyway, this is a little presentation that we put together, and I'm not going to go through slide by slide because there's other things that I want to talk about. And this is designed for California, but it does describe what a jural society is. So this is a kind of a important preface. Compared to an assembly, they're very similar. And many times I've heard Tim Turner say, or any of the other people, if you want to do a committee of safety, if you want to do an assembly, if you want to do a jural assembly, you want to do a jural society, all doesn't matter. You guys get to decide. So we're just going to describe what the jural society is in our research in the way that we discovered it. Okay, so there's California. And we go through the basis of here how California was stolen, the California dream. And we document when it got abandoned and so forth. And this can go state by state. I'm going to deliver this to you, Susan, so that you have it for anybody who wants it. What is a jural society? Jural means of relating to law or pertaining to rights and obligations, pertaining to natural or positive rights. So anything jural is basically lawful. A society is a totality of people regarding as forming a community of interdependent individuals working for the benefit of society. Okay, that means we're just coming together. So a jural society is a lawful group of people coming together. Pretty simple. And I believe assembly is too. Now, in the history of jural societies, it is a Christian jural society where God's law is supreme, and Scripture gives us all the law we need to live together as a society. And you may have heard of the term ecclesia, which is an assembly of people into a body of government. All right, that's in the jural society. I'm going to go back up. I want to finish that one. So you might remember and have heard about the churches, the early churches. Corinth and Ephesus were jural societies. Okay, so those are examples of ecclesia. It's very old. It's been around for a long, long time. Here's a comparison between a committee of safety and a jural society and the purpose. And here's your jural society. This is your committee of safety. Can you guys see this? Yeah. So, okay, everybody's muted.
I muted myself. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yes.
you can see it okay?
Yes.
All right. So the purpose is to uphold common law. Committee of Safety maintains safety during a crisis. Focus is legal constitutional. Committee of Safety is political emergency. Duration is permanent or long-term. Committee of Safety, temporary or situational. And I honestly don't know, where the assembly falls in this, but it's probably very similar or a combination of it. Authority basis is common law or natural rights, committee of safety, community mandate or necessity, and historical origin are the common law courts or back in biblical times, and committees of safeties went back to the American Revolution. So I thought that was just an interesting compare and contrast. Let me go here. There's your upside down and corporation at the top. And this is the Jural Society putting God at the top, the Holy Spirit guiding the people, and the people forming the Jural Society at the top. This shows it better. You see the Jural Society at the county levels, and then they're going to vote in. They're going to elect, is the proper word, the state officials. And once there is a forum of states, we will then elect a national. We are of the opinion at this time, since we don't have enough states to form a quorum, that the national have not been elected. Here's the trifecta. This is probably one of the most distinctions that I'm fond of about the Jural Society. First is the Ecclesia, which is your Bill of Rights. First Amendment. That's your freedom of speech, freedom of religion. That is your ecclesia. This is the body of people who love and know God's ways and like to intercede on behalf of others in their loving, kind ways. They're not popes or, this is just the people who want to live under God's law. Unregulated militia is in the Bill of Rights, Second Amendment. And the other part, the third part of the trifecta, is the people's grand jury. So as you're setting up your jural society, you are setting up the foundation to operate in the common law courts and have our constitutional right to have a militia come alongside the people as peacekeepers who would be helping and assisting the community. All right. And so this is probably my favorite part of the Jural Society that makes a distinction between that and an assembly, because what we're doing here is putting our foundation in. And of course, we have to gather up enough people to do that. So with that, I stop the share there. And I think what we'll do, if you don't mind, if you want to put any questions in the chat, and then we can answer them after I'm done with all of the material. Does that work for you, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it work for you guys? Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the basis of what a Jural Society is for you. The second thing I want to show you is, hang on, and get over to my document. There it is. Susan had originally asked me if I would put together bullet points. She said, give me the bullet points. So this is how we set our Jural Society up. This is California's interpretation of how Tim Turner told us to stand up our state. I started on September 11th of 24, and between September 11th and January 27th, I added about 100 interim placeholders into the county levels and the state level of California, okay? Because we had a lot of volunteers. And so I underwent the training with as Secretary of State by Sandy, and we had the member elector base, and they assigned the Secretaries of State the job of filling seats and settling counties. So I had a governor who said, yep, and that's what you're going to do. So I said, could I be a senator, please? Because that's a lot of work. So he encouraged me to make sure that we downloaded our member elector roster so that we could know who to call. Basically, you can't call these people if you don't have their names and emails and phone numbers. So question was, did you guys all download your rosters? Because they're yours. They belong to the state. That's state possession. On January 27th of 2025, there was a long Senate call, and it was about 4 hours. It was not to be recorded, but Sandy recorded it and she sent it out. So we received it. We transcribed it, and we asked only to transcribe the words that Tim Turner said. And from that, we have a partial transcript, and I can provide that transcript for you, Susan. The governor's research, what my governor did was, because in 1849, California started or formed their Constitution of 1849. In 1850, we were admitted into the Union. So during those first few years of the legislative session notes, we were able to go into archives, into our legislative sessions, and find the seats at the county level which our republic filled. So what we found were commissioners, clerks, justices, court clerks, and sheriffs. So those are the original republic seats. So Tim said, I've already stood up your state, which he did. He stood up all 50 states in 2011 and 12. All you have to do is fill the seats. Well, he didn't settle the land county by county for the republic. So he says, that's a good idea if you want to do that too. So yes, that's what we all chose. I think all of the states chose. We're going to settle these counties. So we're going to take our land back county by county in every state. And this is how we're going to do it. So we were given the option, and I believe this applies to all the states: grow your Jural Society or your Committee of Safety or your whatever you want to call it to 30,000, or settle the number of counties that you entered the Union with. So when California entered the Union in 1850, we had 27 counties. So that would be how many counties we would need to seat and settle. And we're going to talk about how to settle the county and the steps that we take to do that. So we went about our way. We used the website r4usa.org because they gave us our job form. I wonder if I should go there right now. I think I'm going to. Let me just do it really quick. I'm going to just show you this. Can you guys see r4usa.org?
Yep.
Okay. So when you click on the maps, here's all the states and everybody's in there. And if you click on California, this is an interactive map. This is also at wethepeoplesrepublic.org, guys. So understand that it's not just us. It's just that the webmaster and the owner of R4USA is former military. If you remember when Trump called in the National Guard into LA for the first time. Then he called in Camp Pendleton. Then he called in the guys from the desert. We call them the war dogs. That's where this guy was. He's a war dog. These maps come from our Marines in the desert.
Okay.
And he was in charge of logistics, and that's where we get these interactive maps. So here's California. We got 3 colors. Gold means we have not seeded anybody in that county. A few of the gold we have seeded 1, but in order to turn it light green, we like to see, let's look at Humboldt 2. We like to seat a justice and a clerk in that county. So you can see the population, the year they entered the Union, when they were fully seated. They've not been, because there's still offices open, and when they settled the land, they have not settled on the land. So you can see which offices are still open. Okay. Here's the county map. If it is dark green, it is settled. That means that they have made 3 proclamations at their courthouse, and they've taken the land back.
Huh?
Okay.
Let me see. Aquí todavía.
Okay. So those are the 3 colors. Let me go county map. The third I'm going to go to San Diego. I'm in San Diego County. Okay, here we go. We are fully seated. We fully seated on the 11th of October. Oh, we've been fully seated for a year. We settled on the land on February 19th of 2025. All of the offices are seated. This county has been stood up for the Republic. How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Once you click on Join the Republic, the reason why we have our jot form is because of Susan in Connecticut. You guys, we did a podcast and you guys plopped your jot form and said to join the Connecticut Republic, click here. I fell in love with it. I said, this is brilliant. This is like genius. Oh my gosh. So here we tell the story again in our jot form, all about California, how they took our Constitution, inserted a corporate constitution, and we give all the documents to all of that. You can click on it. You guys can go see that for yourselves by going to R for USA or We the Peoples, because it's in there too. And this tells what we are and what we aren't, and then you fill it out and you join. Okay. Yeah. So we want you to do that if you're seeing this and you love what you see. Let's see, where am I going back? I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to that document that I was on.
Okay.
There it is. Tim Turner, right there. Okay. So then we put, from the partial transcript of what Tim said, we put together our de jure roadmap. And I have emailed that to Susan. I don't want to bore everybody with that. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to seat 3 people in your county. I think this is the same as what the assembly is. Yeah, you got to seat 3 people. And so we're going to have a lot of things that are the same. Okay. And that's good. That's why we can say these different words of what you're calling your organization are very much the same. So our interim placeholders, however, that we sat for the Republic are actually the officers of our Jural Society. Since we found our original seats out of our legislative sessions versus putting an assembly into the county, we're not putting new seats in, we're actually reseating the original. So we're saying, no, you guys are the officers of the Jural Society, and you are repopulating as interim placeholders in the government. Therefore, you and your Secretary of State and you at the county level, you guys are all together. We do not have any wedges between us there. And I think that's an important difference. So now, after they're seated 3, we introduce the interim placeholders to each other and we plan for the county settlement. They can make their Jural Society seal and their county seal, however you do it. And once they read all their proclamations, We are not recording with the de facto corporation. We are using registered mail to use as our court of record.
Right.
And I'm sorry about going back and forth, but I want to be able to
Oh,
show you
fine.
guys
Thank you. That's
why.
good. It's good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to just show you all this so that you can see what's happening in California. This is the situation in other states as well. So what happens is they're recommending that the Jural Society or the assembly of that county, after they have done their proclamations at the courthouse 3 times, 3 weeks in a row by 3 people. So therefore they have 9 videos after the 3 weeks. I know I said that fast, but the details are all there.
Yep.
After you do that, a lot of the recommendation is to go and file with the de facto court, the clerk. If we were in San Diego to do that, and they're recommending a miscellaneous filing, let's go look. This is the San Diego County fee schedule that's current, okay? Here's your recording, and here's your miscellaneous recording services, and here is your filing. It's $12 to do a miscellaneous filing in San Diego County. It is a non-recorded document. And I put together the difference between a recorded document and a non-recorded document. Even if you certify it, there is no guarantee that it has been recorded by your county recorder. So again, as I've stated before, San Diego County and all of California do not record our records. Therefore, our court of record, even though we could take a copy of this document that had been certified but not recorded because it's a miscellaneous recording, we could take it to the Board of Supervisors. We don't have commissioners in California. We have Board of Supervisors and present it. But we cannot say to them, we've recorded this on the land because they didn't record it. All they did was file it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in California. And that is a problem in other states too. So when we originally started, we had this long drawn out discussion around what are we going to do about that? And then some very smart people came and said, oh my gosh, we have researched the UPU, the Universal Postal Union. That came before the USPS.
Okay.
And you can use registered mail with the UPU, and that can be your court of record. So what we have our counties do is once they get their settlement documents done, they've done their 3 proclamations, they've done their 3 recordings, they register mail those documents to me, the Secretary of State, and we scan and post them. We scan each page as a JPEG. I'm going to go slow here because if any Secretary of State wants to do this, you want to write this down. You're going to scan each page as a JPEG, and then you're going to search convert JPEG to GIF, GIF. You know, those scrolling documents.
Yeah.
That's what you get. So I'm going to show you again how this looks on the record. Let's see where I can get another tab. Oh, that's that. I want to get rid of that. Okay. Guys, I'm fumbling around here a little bit. Okay, we got, now I can see. Okay. So what's happening in California is we are posting all of our court records because they were register mailed to us via the UPU, and that is your court of record. Now we're doing our public notice right here on True Social. And as you scroll down, you will see, I just picked one video, although in our private forum we have 3, because we do 3 proclamations per person per week. 3 different people. And I just post one of them so they can see. There's Santa Cruz, second proclamation. Here's Madera, second proclamation. Here's Madera, third and final. Here's Monterey, third and final. Here's a letter that Doug sent via whitehouse.gov calling Donald Trump to come in. This was, by the way, on the 14th of October. And on the 17th, Donald Trump came in with 2,000 troops, right? You guys probably saw that. Newsom was making big fusses about it. But so I'm going to get down. There we go. This is a GIF. See it scrolling? It's just scrolling. These are our settlement documents. And these people have read the preamble in Article 1 of the settlement document on the courthouse steps. I believe this is exactly the same in every state for every assembly. And we have our signatures in our autographs in red, okay, with the thumbprint. And there's the state seal on it because they have their court of record, which is the registered mail via the UPU. And here is now a URL. So now we have, there's the URL. That is the unique record number, which can be posted in every public notice that you make. Okay. And so we have our public notices. Let me see if I can go there. I'm going to show you one of our public notices. Let's see if I've got one of them already pulled up. Oh, that's True Social. Hang on, guys. I'm so sorry. And I'm going to sign in to my mail. And I know I just emailed it to Susan. So there it is. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Here it is. There it is. So now is our public notice. This is the public notice that we are placing all over each county. We, the people, have taken back our constitutional republic in San Diego County, the California Republic for the People, San Diego County settlement document. There's that URL that I just showed you, and that's that scrolling settlement document. This is the QR code for our JOT form, which you guys can do. We, the People's Republic, would go here. Unless you want that interactive map, and then you do that. And here's our town hall meeting that we do publicly twice a month. So every other Tuesday, we're going to have that town hall meeting and then join the JOT form. And at the very bottom, it says this county is, San Diego County is now settled on the land for the Republic. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there is our public notice.
That's great.
Yeah. This is the du jour roadmap. I sent it to Susan. She has it. It lists step by step, 8 steps to restore the Republic. We have everything in writing, all the instructions of what we're going to do, all the du jour steps. You're going to, seat your republic. You're going to establish your assembly or your Jural society. You're going to settle your county by doing your proclamations. You're going to make your seal. I'm scanning fast because I'm sending you guys all these documents. And you're going to use the registered mail for your court of record unless you want to go and do a miscellaneous filing. Maybe your state actually records those documents. Ours doesn't. But if you're in a state that doesn't, then you're going to need to use that registered mail to get your court of record. What'd you say, Susan?
We don't have county commissioners either.
Yeah.
And we couldn't file them in most of the counties. So
right.
We actually filed them with the secretary, our secretary of state is what we did it.
Okay. So there are going to be some variations in that for you for each of the states, and use your discernment because you're going to want your court of record.
Yeah.
All right. Now your Secretary of State, because each county is gonna, in the Republic, we record with our county clerk, and our county clerk then records with our interim Secretary of State Republic.
Right.
And they're going to send the original and 2 color copies to the Secretary of State via registered mail with the Universal Postal Union, the UPU, not the Cabal one, which is USPS.
Yeah.
And the Secretary of State will store that in a fireproof, waterproof safe, and then return the 2 copies back to the county. So now you've got 3 copies. We have ambassadors and clerks. So whatever your positions are, if it's a moderator and a scribe, you want to have 3 different records kept per county, so that you've got your documents no matter what. All right.
So what
So
does
here
your
it goes on.
ambassador do? May I interrupt?
The ambassador runs the Jural societies, and since we're getting ready to stand California up, we will no longer have ambassadors after we have our lawful elections, because we didn't have ambassadors back then, and we've reseated the original positions. They will become commissioners.
Okay.
And since we want an odd number of officers per county, the commissioners are legislative. Your justice and court clerk are judicial, and the clerk and the sheriff are executive. There's your 3 branches of government, okay, broken out at the county level. And so that way, every county has a Republican form of government with those positions. So we want to have an odd number. So in the smaller counties, we just have the commissioner, the clerk, the justice, the court clerk, and the sheriff. That's perfect. In the larger counties like LA and San Diego, where they already have an ambassador, and the ambassador is going to become a commissioner, we're going to add 1 more commissioner, so we have that odd number again. So there's your 7. And that way you can do tiebreakers when you're conducting business at the county level. Okay. So we've scanned and posted to our public forum. Congratulations, the county is now settled de jure. And that means they're not de jure in the Republic until they have got their court of record, which is our registered mail, and then recorded at de facto for those states who want to go do that or can do it. And then posted publicly. And some of these states want to go to their commissioners and give them that declaration. We don't have documents from them that are recognized to go and tell them. So we are using our bulletins that we're posting around and any email correspondence, plus our town hall biweekly as our public notice for all of what we're doing. So, all right, miscellaneous filing, there it is. I put it in writing. De facto clerk is a non-recorded document in California. Certifying a non-recorded document and presented to the Board of Supervisors can be construed as misleading. However, it's your choice. If they want to do it, they can do it. We did have 1 county go to her Board of Supervisors and make her proclamation. So it's up to you. I don't know of any troubles recently for doing that, but I believe in the past there were troubles with that. And I can't remember what state, if you know, Susan. If I say the state, it'll be wrong, so I'm gonna
okay.
leave
Well,
it.
don't say it. Don't say it then.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. So anyway, we don't want to have any troubles. We don't want to poke the bear.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So after that, now we're going to have meetings once a month. All 27 counties in California will be meeting once a month, and they can do it in person or they can do it in Zoom, or, you know, we've got some pretty big counties out here. And so a lot of them are still Zooming. A lot of counties love getting together and having a lot of fun.
Mhm.
and we just love each other because
Yeah.
we're awake, we're not
Yeah.
woke.
Yeah.
We have something in common here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after you have settled all of the counties, then you're going to ratify your documents, and you're going to have your lawful elections, and now your state is stood up. So that is the end of our de jure roadmap, and that is basically what we're going to do. Now, California is 2 counties away from being settled. We are fully seated as of
Congratulations.
this moment, as of yesterday.
Congratulations. Yeah.
All of the
Awesome.
27 counties were
Very,
seated
very
this
great
week.
work. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congratulations to you. Yeah.
So that's a lot of counties. I think that's more than anybody in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any state that has
You've
settled
done
more
a great
counties.
job with that.
I
And
would,
that's also have to ratify your constitution, right?
yes, we do. After all of them are stood up, we're actually going to go to Monterey and do that. And
Okay.
everybody is so excited right now. We're going to go up to Monterey because that was where California had its first constitutional
Oh, okay.
convention
Wow.
at Colton Hall. And we want to take our original Republic flag and raise it on the pole. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
have
Cool.
people in the Republic that have familial history in California,
Oh.
and it's just exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Great.
So,
Thank you.
what did I forget, Susan?
I got a Mazzado knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. Here's what really pisses me off.
Well, I have one question. I have a couple of questions. One question I have is one of the differences that I was led to believe by some people was that the Jural societies, the governors had a little bit more influence than in the county assemblies. Now, is that true or not
The
true?
Jural Society has more influence than a
The
county assembly.
governors of the Jural Society had a little more influence.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. I think that's really important because we had a couple states really love the idea of the Jural Society, and they decided they should become Jural societies, but they were assemblies.
Mhm.
And when they went to their assemblies to present the Jural Society, the assembly just said, no, and we're the boss, and we fired you. And they
Oh,
fired
really?
their governors.
Mhm.
So that's what I was talking about, that wedge. There's no wedge in the Jural Society between the county and the state because we are reseating the original republic
Seats.
together.
Uh-huh.
Versus, I think putting assemblies in is separate from the state government.
Right,
And
right.
there's a separation from out of the gate.
Yeah.
There's another distinction too, that we elected that we would not do bilateral compacts
Yeah.
at the county level. And I do not know, I don't want to misquote the direction that originally has been given for those. But our viewpoint on it is that, number one, the people are interim. They're not supposed to be making decisions.
Right, right.
Yeah. And number two, we
Mm.
have 58 counties in California right now. We did not want to divide California into 58 different rules.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
every county is making all these different
yeah,
rules,
yeah,
how can you go from Mexico to
Mhm.
Oregon without?
yeah,
Well, so we said
yeah,
those would be done after we stand the state up. When the counties have their lawful election, not only are they going to run for their seats, and they will run for the seats that they're in right now because those are the original seats of our republic
yeah,
via our legislative sessions.
yeah,
So those will be the seats that we receive, because when we ratify our constitution, that tells us what seats to put in, right?
yeah, right, right.
That's
Yep.
us saying this is how we're going to operate. So now we can elect those seats,
Mhm.
and so we also are going to elect 2 delegates per county.
Okay.
One delegate is going to go to the House, and one delegate is going to go to the Senate.
Okay.
So we have 2 senators and 1 House of Representative right now, and each of the Senate and the House are going to have 27 delegates.
Mhm.
That now is our legislative assembly. Once
Okay.
California's completely stood up, we've got 29 in the Senate and 28 in the House.
Yeah.
And now if they want to make amendments, now they can conduct business because they've been elected, all of them.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the
But you
county will be,
Uh-huh.
go ahead.
You said you have 58 counties?
Yeah.
So, how do you get around only 27 being elected then?
Remember that in order to stand up your state, you only need to settle the number of counties you had when you joined the union.
Right. But what happens now? Would they consider it fair or unfair if they don't have a representative from their county to go
Well,
for office?
there's still going to be more work to do.
Yeah.
And
Of
you guys
course.
you remember Maverick and Top Gun. I just sent out the video, the flyby on the tower, and they're telling him not Maverick, no, or there's no flyby. It's like, no, we're going to do a flyby. We're going to fly right by that 27 counties and just keep going till we get to 58, because we want the whole state, obviously. Part of what we believe will occur is just massive awareness.
Yeah.
They're going to join the Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also,
Great.
once they announce, the military announces Nasara Jasara, they're going to have 120 days to lawful elections. That will be the big election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. So who has a
I'll take the
So-
first one.
Okay.
Hi, Debbie. My name is Russ Nickerson. I'm interim Secretary of State in Connecticut.
Congratulations. Did you want to
Thank
be a
you.
senator too?
I have no aspirations, no such
I
aspirations.
didn't want all this work.
Me neither.
Yeah, really. Mhm.
We were one of the lucky counties in Connecticut that were able to declare and register freely with the de facto county clerk. They
Mhm.
willfully registered us and entered it into the miscellaneous records.
Yeah.
So we lucked out that way. But that's a comprehensive package you put together, and I appreciate you sharing all of that hard work for us.
Susan made me do it. She says, I don't want a PowerPoint. She says, I want bullet points. I go, okay, well, I put this thing together a long time ago,
Yeah.
but I had to fill in a few pieces that
Yeah.
have, grown up a little bit since we
Yeah.
talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate being able to get back and talk about it. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Russ.
So we had 8 counties at the inception of our Constitution being ratified. So we need to settle all 8 of those, correct?
Right.
That was what I was instructed.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
How
how are
many
you?
do you have now?
4, I believe, right, Susan?
No, we have 8.
We have 8 stood up,
Mhm.
Yes.
just not seated. They're not
Not
all
seated. Some of
not
them,
all
we've
seated.
lost some people and some
Okay.
seats. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a
And-
conflict here right now in
Oh.
Connecticut, right? So,
Okay.
so we're
And
looking to see what we're going to do about that.
and Debbie, how did you find recruitment? How were you able to find so many folks awake in a state that large?
Mhm. Oh, in Accomi, California?
Connecticut's
they
I think
say.
Connecticut's
They
pretty
say
bad
we're a
too.
blue state, but
No.
well, I think that's a really important question, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed by all of the states. One of the things, remember, I told you, I'm telling you this for a reason. I was a senior merchandising manager and I
Mhm.
was a marketing manager, and there's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
People think they're marketing when they're merchandising, and it's not true.
Yeah.
Selling t-shirts is not going to fill
Yeah.
your seats. Sorry,
Right. Yeah.
it just isn't.
Yeah.
And we're not here to merchandise. We are the original Republic. We don't have to become merchandisers. I'm not going back to retail.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell gold coins, but I
Yeah.
was in radio, and all I need is a podcast and a job form.
Yeah.
And the other part about that is, since I was self-employed after radio, I was the vice president of a healthcare corporation for 27 years and we owned it. Then I went and got my MBA. Here's what I know. We manifest our lives according to what we believe and the thoughts we hold and the words that come out of our mouth.
Mhm.
And if we're sitting in a forum for our republics, arguing with everybody, we are spiraling our energy down in a bad direction. But if we're playing Top Gun and Maverick and doing a flyby, like we're going this way and there is no other way. And we just we just don't have that conflict. I don't know, in California, we've just all kept the excitement going. We've kept the ball rolling. And I think what you have to celebrate is every tiny little step is only the forward motion is you want to. And yes, we've had challenges and we've had to overcome those. We're not spewing them out on a platform somewhere that's going to affect everybody's energy. So I'm energy sensitive. That's part of the answer. The other part is we had a lot of people that saw the podcast of what's his name?
SGN or
Yes. We had a lot of people and they were very excited about it. And the bottom line is, Secretary of State, I was on the phone full time, constant calling them. It was me and the governor and one of our chief justices. We were on the phone. What happens with email? Goes to spam.
Yeah.
Even when they sign up and you send them an email, they don't have your email. It's going to spam. And they would come back 3 months later and complain above our head going, we've been trying to get a hold of California and they're just ignoring us. And we're like, yeah, we sent it to them, but it went to spam. So that's why I was on the phone and it was full time. Like I said, when I started from September 11th to January 27th, I added 100 interim placeholders into California. From there, right now we have about 143. Since the change of whatever you want to call it, people leaving, people getting kicked out, whatever it is, all of that, all that chaos. We kept playing the Top Gun Maverick show because we didn't want people to fall off. Now we've had people leave. I moved out of state. Gavin Newsom burnt down LA and all of Altadena. They had to move to Connecticut because they couldn't afford to live in California anymore. And their house got burnt down. Then he burnt down, all this garbage that has gone on. But we have I am
Go ahead.
sensitive to energy.
Yeah. And Doug has taken the position that the governor has the interim governor has the right to remove people for cause, right?
For cause, when somebody hasn't shown up for 3 months, I'm saying I got to go up this hill, around this corner, and over the next hill, and I just can't carry you, bud. I'm sorry. You're not showing up. You're not in my pack anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't. And so we give them time, and we understand. We had one gal that we just love. She just hasn't been able to make it. She traveled around the world and it was important and so forth. And so we gave her that transition letter and we transitioned them back to Jural Society member and member elector and tell them when you're ready to be active, come on back. Let's check where we're at. Maybe we've got an open seat for you because we really love you. But we have to have people that are walking with their feet forward with us. We cannot carry you up that hill.
Yeah.
No.
Do it by yourself.
And you know what? She rebutted immediately. No, I can't be removed. I'm going to show up. And, but what happens when you replace that person that has not been showing up and has negative energy with somebody that is excited about the Republic is the whole county gets infused again.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They just like, oh, what a breath of fresh air. We got this new person and they're just excited.
Yeah.
So, but we have to do the marketing alongside of it to
Mhm.
create those leads.
Mhm.
Maybe you didn't have a large roster.
We
It
had,
has to
we
happen
had
organically.
100. We did really good at the start. We did. But it
Uh-huh.
was a three months of calling, email, calling, email, calling,
Mhm.
email, which I did myself pretty much too, until we were able to get some of these assemblies seated and et cetera. But we've had issues. We've got some conflict between some of the assemblies, so but we're
Uh,
working on it.
Yeah, you just work it out individually if you can and keep it off the platform.
Yep, yep.
Debbie, are you aware of any preclusions or prohibitions for folks holding state level positions in this interim capacity, as well as at the county level positions? Can
We
you
don't
do?
do it.
Yeah, we're
We don't
just
do we don't do dual seating.
okay.
There
Mhm.
was someone in the previous what they so-called national organization that held like 5 different positions at the same time. That was a little bit of a thorn in my side. I just disagreed.
Yeah,
If you want to be Secretary of State of the nation, you're going to have to let that governorship go.
yeah.
You know, on you can't run the vetting committee too, and you can't also run the newsletter, and you can't also, it's
Mhm.
like pick your favorite area and do that.
Yep.
Yeah. We also don't allow anyone in the de facto corporation into our republic to hold a seat.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome in the Jural Society, but you can't hold a seat if they're,
A ball.
Yeah.
yes, thank you. We don't
And
want their energy.
that includes a policeman, even if they're a National Guard. Okay.
I don't know. National Guard, I really like those guys. I would have to take that to my governor and let him decide.
Mhm.
Okay.
But he has refused policemen. Now we do have former police that are retired.
Mhm.
We've turned the officers down that are getting paid by them.
Yeah.
The problem is the conflict of opinion, and they bring that in with them, and they're pretty certain about it.
Mhm.
That, we had one gal who wanted to join the Jural Society, and she was just certain there should always be there's always been Democrats and Republicans,
Mhm.
and there always will be. There has to be two parties. And we're telling her, no, this is the Republic. We don't have Democrats and Republicans, not to mention the Democrats are pretty much shooting themselves in the foot right now. And I said, and our governor also says, in the Republic, there are people who love America and people who need to leave.
That's pretty
Agreed.
straightforward.
Agreed.
That's it. You're going to love the Republic, love America, love your state, love your brother and sister, or maybe you need to really figure out where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's good.
And
So there
Trump's
are no
cleaning that
parties.
up.
Rod, you
Huh?
have any questions?
Yeah, so in other words, there are no parties, but the Patriot Party.
That's the way that we're viewing it. That's the way we believe the Republic is. And those are the thoughts we hold in our minds. So therefore, those are the words that come out of our mouth. None of us have ever lived in a republic before. It's been 150 years since they stole it, right? We don't even
Right.
know what it is.
Now, one question I had was, you said that after Gassara is announced, is that something that Tim Turner has addressed? And, what my question is, do we have to have a constitutional convention of sorts, or is that something not in the cards for this republic? In other words, we had a quorum of states. We finally stood up and had enough people to be able to get together because that's kind of like the way that they've actually sidelined us is they got a quorum and they do votes and take down the good people, you know. I've looked at it that way all my life, is that they've always had some kind of a plan. They've been playing the long game, obviously, little bits of, takes little bites out of the original republic. Now, is that anything that's ever been discussed at Constitutional Convention? Because I know it's been talked about a lot with,
Article 5.
yeah.
First part of that was that Nasara Jasara announcement is my belief. That is my belief, that we will have lawful elections for the whole nation in 120 days. Whether that is, I've not heard Tim say it, but I
No.
did hear Tim say, and he was just with us last Saturday. We expected him to be with us for an hour, and he spent 2.5 hours with us.
That's great.
It was great.
How is
And
he doing?
he's doing great.
Oh, good to hear.
Doing great. And we asked him if we could do a letter writing campaign to get him out of his parole. He said he would be honored for that. Doug wants to do a petition. And I say he should be pardoned. So then one of our justices comes in and says, well, you got to be guilty to be pardoned, and he's not guilty, so he can't be pardoned,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, whatever, just get him free,
Free me.
Yeah, but he's doing great. And Rod, he did talk about that. He said there are a lot of things in our Constitution that needs to be addressed.
Mhm.
We need to have a constitutional convention so that we can make the amendments that need to be made. And he made a whole list of them, and I am not going to be able to reel them off my head. I'm sorry. But he knew what the issues were. And I'll just give you in California as an example. We need to do it too, because in the 1849 Constitution, they talk about, for the suffrage, they talk about a white man and a Mexican man being able to vote. Well, excuse me, no, we're not having differentiation by skin color, or sex.
Yeah.
So all of that has already been
Mhm.
fixed. And so we need to make that amendment. If we're going back to the 1849 Constitution, we're going to need to have our legislative assembly, and those are the lawmakers, not the three-letter agencies, as in the Chevron deference,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Know
We have
that.
We have to change ours as well, because
Mhm.
women can't vote.
So
in
we'll
the
need to do
Constitution.
that. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important for those of us who have been here, who love the Republic and love our states and America, that we run for our seats. We
Mhm.
have to keep going, even as hard as it gets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do about elections? Like, do you like for your post? Were you elected to your post or appointed?
No, I'm interim. I've not been elected.
But you were appointed by Doug?
I was appointed by Doug.
Mhm.
And Doug has unrebutted claim to the seat of governor of California, 1849, by
Mhm.
Donald Trump. And he did that in like 2018 or 19. He was
Mhm.
with the California Republic prior to coming to the re-inhabited Republic. They actually asked him to come.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Geiger got upset with him because he was talking to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Well, he was held that seat before,
Yeah.
before re-inhabited. So anyway, unrebutted claim, that's how Doug is seated. The best way to be seated is be elected.
Mhm.
So that's why once we stand our states up and we have declared and proclaimed in the heavens, we will have that done by 11/11.
Mhm. There you go. Great.
Yeah.
So awesome.
And
Okay.
then we'll have our elections. So we're going to do the elections at the county level, and the county's starting to get their ballots together. Doug wants to do them in person one day. We're going to
Yeah.
have elections one day,
Uh-huh.
in writing, in person,
Mhm.
and the clerks are going to count them, and they're going to report them to the Secretary of State. That's your county and your delegates.
That's
You know,
great.
the Senate and House. That takes
Yeah.
care of that. Then, now they're elected, they're going to elect the state, because it's county first and
Mhm.
then the state. So
There you go. Great.
I think the state is gonna be, since there's 8 or 9 positions, we're not gonna be able to do that physically in one location, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're still working on that. I know that some of the governors had their people give them a vote of confidence, and they did that electronically. There were some different discussions that went on about that.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Ross, any more questions?
I would, I'm gonna need to review the video that Debbie put together and
Mhm.
just pour through the not bullet points and
Yeah,
and your commentary. That's a very, very professional and comprehensive package
yeah, it's
that
great.
we'll definitely benefit
Did a
from.
great
So
job.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just send us
And I
some.
think really, well, first of all, I did email all those documents that I showed you to Susan. I also gave her a list of locations, like I listed our True Social page, so you can
Yeah.
follow us there. You can
Great.
go look at those GIFs and see them scroll.
Okay.
You know, you can look at all the videos.
Mhm.
Like I said, each week when we make our proclamations, there's 3 readers, and they post those 3 videos in our private forum on Telegram. I
Mhm.
grab one and post it just to represent what happened.
Uh-huh.
So it's not all 3.
Uh-huh.
And I posted the documents, the du jour roadmap, and all
Great.
of that. So you can scroll through. But I think a lot of what we're doing is the same.
Yeah.
And
It seems
yeah,
like we
It
are.
is.
It seems
Yeah.
like we are. So I don't know why some have such a questioning approach to, I don't see the main differences. What do you see, Rod? You see anything?
No, just the number of people that are reading. We did one, we actually did it in the newspaper ourselves. A lot
Yeah.
of other groups have done one person reading three times a week apart. That's the
Okay.
difference.
Okay. Well, that was according to the assembly
Yeah,
documents.
that's the assembly.
Yeah. We
well,
did
that
the
we had
courthouse.
3 people read week 1. The
Yeah.
same or different 3 people read week 2, and the same
Uh-huh.
or different people 3 read. So a total of 9 readings.
Well,
Mhm.
under the assembly, you could do a newspaper notice, and that's
Yeah.
what they did.
Or
Or you could do
read.
the reading, yeah.
Or read. Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
they did the
Yeah.
newspaper
Right.
notice, yeah.
Who reads the newspapers?
Nobody.
It's a major New London County newspaper called the New London Day, and they
Yeah, it's a record, paper of
s-
record, I guess you call it.
and
Mhm.
they freely published it
Good.
in the legal section, and our county clerk freely registered it, and we were off to the races pretty quickly
Oh,
and easily, which is rare, I guess.
that's beautiful.
Just one county in Connecticut, though. The other counties are having more challenges.
Yeah. Well, and there's places in California that are real challenges too. I mean, we've got San Francisco surrounded,
Okay.
but San Francisco does not want a seat, right? Because they're pretty liberal. Well, either that or they're on the streets.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
brainwashed.
for sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
any more questions before we close?
So these documents and this video will be available to us, Susan,
Yes,
so we could pour through it in a little
yes,
more detail.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah, the recruitment continues to be our biggest challenge. I know each of us on this call know a lot of people, and in our circles, we've been just unable to find people that are awake. It's not to do with marketing. It's not to do with it's just they
It's a
just
culture.
mhm,
it's
I've been
unbelievable.
there.
The coastline is the worst.
mhm.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. And I know, we have that issue in some counties in California too. But I do want to say, because the last time I did a big Jural Society explanation, there were 3 states actually that wanted to have us go through this. And they were so excited about it, they decided to change all their assemblies to Jural societies. I think that's too radical. I would not recommend that. The people got very upset about it. It was a very big problem.
Mhm.
If you are going to make any changes at all, I would do any, just subtle things. I would take those seats and just say, we want you to be part of our government and now become this position instead of the scribe. Or, I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing, but
Yeah.
I would just
Mhm.
bring them in rather than try to make them do something completely different. I think that was really a lot of trouble for those states, and it divided them. And
Yeah.
so I would not recommend, just making an announcement. You guys are now going to be,
Yeah.
and I don't know that that's what they did.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want any mishaps.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
From
the definitions you listed for your Jural Society for each of those, that resonated with me. But we're committees of safety, and now we're county assemblies. But those definitions you listed they made pretty they resonated with me anyways. I liked them.
Yeah.
I think what's important for all of us as we move forward together in our League of Friendship, which is what our intention is, that these states that are stood up in Connecticut is, Georgia, help Susan.
Hawaii. And there are a few other states that are, there's 6 or 7, we
Well,
understand.
there's Iowa. I only count 5.
Uh-huh.
Iowa, but the governor doesn't have access to any of the assembly. So there's where that
Ohio.
division is
Mhm.
again, and I feel very bad about that,
Mhm.
to have any of the states divided like that.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you. We'll close now for no more questions. I'd like to thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on our first podcast and to learn about Jural societies. And we look forward to having you on again to
Thank you.
explain things as we go forward.